All right, guys, welcome back to episode two of Andinos on the Mic. We have again here my brother Jose. We got my nephew Aiden. Thank you for everybody who subscribed so far, commented, follow us. Make sure you follow us on Twitch too. Thank you again for all your support, and we look forward to more things, more good things to come. So stay tuned, guys. Again, thank you again.
What's up?
Perfect.
What's up, everybody? Um, PJ over here. Um, you know, Grateful for being here. Thank you guys for all those who subscribed. Thank you guys for those that watch the video, and we're just very grateful and just loving life at the moment. We're just family. Brother, son here, and just trying to be ourselves and give you a little bit of our culture as well as our knowledge and make it fun, make it different, give you our take, but at the same time, be real about it, you know. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, guys, welcome back.
Yeah, that being said, I'm Aiden, Andino305. Um, Again, like my dad was saying, I'm very grateful as well. Um, we're starting this as something fun, and we're gonna keep having fun with it and trying to bring some good entertainment. And thank you for following, and for the new people, I hope you enjoy this episode as well. Go check out the first episode that we dropped the other night. But yeah, we're here now and we're about to get started, so let's get it going.
So let's get into the game that had everybody emotional. The UM versus Ole Miss, right? This game was wild. It was emotional. It's just one of those games that you truly felt in your chest, right? Until the last play. How do you feel about the game, guys?
You know, I was gonna dye my beard today, but then I was like, let me just show, the repercussions of the game yesterday. Very intense. It was definitely not for the weak of heart. You know, it was back and forth. It showed UM's resilience. It shows UM's coaching. It shows UM's heart. And kudos to to Ole Miss. Ole Miss. Were an underdog coming in. And at one point, I did say a couple of we're in trouble. And but you know what? We ended up pulling out the win, and celebrating today. We it was a long night, and then the pots and pans came out. Typical Miami celebration, you know, and no complaints. But it's definitely been a long day and exciting, and the talk of the town keeps going.
What about you, Aiden?
Give me a sec. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. So one of the things about the game that I really did like, to start off with, is the defense was strong with UM, right? And we had about a couple of three and outs that we forced on Ole Miss until we had that long touchdown run by Lacey. When we had the long touchdown run by him, I knew it. I knew this guy was gonna be big in the game. I was hoping we were gonna go ahead and stop him, but that one long run counted. That 75 rushing yard counted for the entire rushing of the game. So great that Miami was able to bend but not break. Right.
Yeah, my opinion on the sorry for my little
No,
brother in
no,
the
no, you're good.
back.
You're good.
He's yeah. So my opinion on the game with Ole Miss and Miami. I mean, it was a great game. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. It was a great game. My little brother, he's excited. He's a huge Canes fan too, Dolphins fan as well. Um, But
Put them on. Put them on. Let them say hi, man.
this is
This
Peanut.
is what we're about. You know.
Say what's up.
What's up, man?
But yeah, the game was very electric. I mean, Ole Miss played a very good game. Our defense was excelling in the first half. In the second half, I felt like we slowed down a bit and it was getting a little scary. Chambliss was getting a little bit more comfortable. And honestly, the defense could have had a lot of major plays, but they slipped up. But ultimately, we came up with the win. Carson Beck played well and strong. Malachi Tony, what a stud. He's a great player as well.
Oh yeah,
Um,
what a
he
rookie.
came through. Well, yeah, what a rookie. He's having a great season as a true freshman. And honestly, just super happy and stoked for the win. And hopefully, we take it all in the championship.
Definitely, definitely, and I do want to mention, the play continues for Carson Beck.
Yeah,
You know, 268 yards, two touchdowns. That one interception was a tip ball. I wouldn't put it on him, but it still counts as INT. But how about Fletcher? 22 carries for 133 yards, huge. He continues to be our pillar, just as Coach Cristobal says. He's a rock, man. He's solid and he's strong and he's a leader that we need. And then you come in and you his backup Brown.
Brown. I like
Brown
Brown.
just scores touchdowns.
I
Just
like
scores
Brown.
touchdowns.
Yeah, yeah. You saw that play where he slipped, but he slipped a couple times, but then he was able to go over the goal line and get that
Yeah,
touchdown. Yeah, that was great. I like Brown a lot.
yeah, I like Brown. And then let's not leave the receivers. Marion, 7 receptions for 114 yards, 144, I believe, with one touchdowns, and then of course Malachi Tony with 81 yards and one touchdown. But most important of all, the physicality that the Canes play, on those third downs. They were huge. So definitely, it was all around great, great game, solid show out, and enjoyed it.
Now,
Definitely, definitely.
now I do want to talk about the game because there's so many things to talk about the games that we saw, right? The ups and downs, this and that. But the one thing I do want to highlight, I think was a key factor in the game, and it's going to be the possession of control. We had about over 40 minutes of possession of control to the 18 of Ole Miss, and that's kind of crazy, right? At one point I think it was like in the second quarter, and he only had like four attempts on Chambliss, and Chambliss is a great quarterback. I saw him play, and he's the real deal. He makes great decisions. He doesn't fold under pressure. He had maybe one or two bad throws, but well, actually he had a lot of bad throws because we missed a lot of picks. But he overcame that, and he played great. So shout out to Chambliss. He got denied his his extension on eligibility, so he's gonna go to the draft. So he's on his way over there. So as far as the possession of control, now does controlling the ball that long say about the discipline of your team? Like how does that speak on the discipline of the offense being able to go ahead and march down the field 75 13 plus plays because they had like multiple 13 plus plays. So does that count more than the one play for 75 yards?
It does because it all comes down to, uh, of course, the fourth quarter where you wear down that defense. You see, they were, as you can see, huffing and puffing. And so what you do is you pound and pound, and since the running game was working, I mean, there was one where Fletcher was carrying the whole team for another couple 10, 15 yards.
Yeah, yeah, the
That
pal.
takes a toll on you. It takes a toll on you mentally, physically. So very important to have possessions. Now, at the end of the day, the most important part is to come out with points. And we fell short on a couple of them, and penalties. Penalties plays a huge role and killed us.
Yeah, I want to add on to that. Definitely when you have the offense out there for that long, 15, I'm pretty sure they had like three drives where it was 15 plus plays, which is insane. It definitely puts a wear and tear on the defense, being able to, they have to stay out there for a pretty long time, and it gets tiring. It breaks you down, and just being able to be out there for that long, it definitely, it's something. How would I put it? Um, just almost it puts a crack in you mentally. It just wears you down. And Miami, we had a couple of drives where we could have scored on, and we had a missed field goal as well. But we definitely could have taken advantage of being out there for that long and scored a little bit more. But ultimately, we did the best, and we came out the win. So we did the best we could. So
Yep, yep, I agree. Time of possession. Every time you have something lopsided like that, you would assume that the person who has the ball most is gonna win. And in this case, it was ended up being the Miami Hurricanes that ended up winning. Now, another thing too about the game too, I did like a lot is that in part of those 15 plus, 13 plus play drives, right? We converted on third downs multiple times. We Beck showed up. He threw what he needed to throw. Tony, Tony, I hope he has a great career, not only in college but also in NFL, because that guy is fast. Nobody could have scored a touchdown the way he scored it when he ran up the middle. He was the only one. That guy is fast. That guy is slippery. Huge props to Tony. Love that guy.
not only if I want to add on one thing to that,
Hmm.
not only is he fast, he's a great playmaker. He's actually a great blocker as well. He made some crucial blocks, and it helps out the run. It helps out, he's a great blocker. And for him to be a true freshman and to be out there and playing on the different sides of the ball and doing it so well, it's honestly amazing. And I hope for the rest of his career, he can in college he can keep doing that for us. Definitely.
Yeah,
What about
it's looking good.
the catch that didn't count?
Oh my
Oof,
He,
goodness, that was a
that was
bro,
crazy
nasty.
catch.
That was nasty.
I don't
yeah,
know how he had the situational awareness to even put his foot down, right? And physically, he was gonna touch no matter what. There was no way he was gonna
yeah.
go ahead and make a toe tapping, especially the angle the way it was. But man, that was an incredible catch attempt.
Effort. Hmm.
Yeah,
For sure.
it was. And guys, I gave my I hope you guys tailed on my picks, Um, came out with the halftime over. It came actually it was the Miami was minus 3.5. That hit, and then also Miami winning. Guys, I just hope I made someone's night
Now
or contribute.
speaking about the how the way the game ended and penalties, either called or missed calls, right? I know there was a lot of penalties on the field. I know there was a lot of missed calls on the field, especially people like to say on the last play, right? Because the broadcaster was even saying that it's a moment of contesting or something like that, which was kind of funny the way they put it, right? I mean, you're holding somebody, but does the penalties during the game do they even out eventually for one side or the other, or do you feel like one team had the benefit of the doubt in the penalties and the other team benefited more?
You know, I say that you should never leave it up to the refs. You should take care of business. Miami went down, scored the ball, and here you have, 18 seconds to try to score a touchdown on a Hail Mary. It's called a Hail
Yeah,
Mary.
yeah, yeah.
You're throwing it up and hoping it comes down. And if you're hoping for pass interference in that situation, oh, it's usually not called. So great no call. Um, they were both hand fighting, and at the same time, if you go look at other Hail Marys, there's a lot of bumping and pushing and down the middle, and
Oh yeah.
usually I don't know the percentage of the ones that actually work, but unless you're Aaron Rodgers, but they that's why they're called Hail Marys. You throw up a prayer.
Yeah, answering your question, the penalties were definitely messing up Miami a lot. Those roughing the passer calls, the targeting, those penalties were definitely getting Ole Miss going and down the field and put them in scoring positions, and it kept them in the game for sure. Some of the calls um were very controversial, I feel like, but it definitely benefits a team. Those calls, especially when they give you a significant edge like yards, 15 yards, 10 yards, that creates momentum and pushes the team down the field. Um, that being said, that last play, people were complaining saying that it was PI. I feel like they were both hand fighting. It could have gone offensive PI, defensive PI. But regardless of that, it's a Hail Mary play, like my dad was saying. That's something that I feel like shouldn't be called. And that dictates the game, Like let's say they do call that, they put them on the 1 yard line, then they score. It dictates the game. And I think it was a great no call, and you know, that's basically it.
Fun fact, PI is gonna be 15 yards, not where the ball is.
Oh yeah, in the college, yeah, you're
In
right.
college.
Yep, in
So
college, yeah, you're
let's
right.
say
Yeah.
that they get it, they still gotta try to go and score at the end zone because they were down by how much were they? They were down by like four points. So
It
Yep.
would
they
have
needed to score. And
it would have definitely put them closer.
what's crazy is that if the kicker, the best kicker in college, like the guy was a machine, he missed one kick. And if he didn't miss that one kick, they could have played for the field goal and then they could have won.
Hmm.
It's you guys know how I feel about those what ifs.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Never
So
happened.
every points matters on the board. So I'm a big believer going down on fourth downs, and Miami converted two out of two. So huge props to Miami. Now I want to talk about is Carson Beck. Now that guy I feel like he put the team on his shoulders. Not only that he didn't not turn the ball over because I don't want to count the INT on him. I really don't. It was a tip. The lineman tipped it. He just threw his hands. He didn't aim for it. He just threw his hands and then it fell in the right place. He willed that come like that again, that plus 13 play drive for 75 yards. He did it again, right? Because he did it multiple times. They marched down the field. Malachi Tony, everybody marched down the field, and he was able at the final play run it in. And just like PJ was talking about last week about the big moment of what's the big moment that changed the game? Again, Beck did it with his legs, and that ended up being the walk-off touchdown for Miami. What do you guys think about Beck's performance? Is this one of his all-time greats, or do you think he has more in store?
I think he has something up his sleeve. He does. Whoever wins out of Indiana and Oregon, he's definitely going to have. There's two teams that from the looks of things, it's going to be Indiana. But you know what? It's you never count it to double, triple zeros.
Yeah,
But I think he has up his sleeve. I think he keep us close. But his performance last night was incredible. He made the plays he was supposed to, and then, like you said, his legs, which ultimately converted into the winning touchdown. You know, solid. He converted on. I know the receivers helped. Fighting for those extra yards, but on those third downs, he threw it where he was supposed to throw it.
yeah,
And so he played a great game. Two touchdowns, one rushing, and yeah, man, he did his thing.
definitely.
I
What about
think
you, Aiden?
definitely Carson Beck has improved his game. In Georgia, when he faced big moments, he hit a brick wall, and um, he didn't work his best. But I think now he's definitely improved. He's moving the ball a lot better. He's using his legs. Um, Major third downs, he converted. He made some great passes. On that last drive, he was on fire.
Yeah.
He made some great, of course, plays. That last play was insane. I was on the edge of my seat. I was super nervous, seeing hopefully they were going to score with 18 seconds left. And Carson Beck did it himself with his legs. And I really hope for the championship game he can pull that game through again. He can bring intensity like he did the last game. And I think he can get it done if he plays the way he was playing against Ole Miss for sure.
Excellent, excellent. Now, with that being said, it most likely is gonna be, well, Miami now. It's back in Miami at the Hard Rock, so that's gonna be exciting, right? They're gonna play in they definitely have home field advantage, so that's gonna be one up that we're gonna have. And from the looks of things, it looks like it's gonna be Indiana against the UM. How do we feel? How do we feel about that? Because right now, Mendoza's on fire, the whole team's on fire, and their defense on fire. Well, if UM were to go ahead and play and win this game that's gonna come up, how are they gonna do it?
You got same way I guess you play Ohio State. You know, you got to get to the quarterback. I believe they had 0 sacks yesterday.
One.
One, Bain and Mesidor, where yeah, he had a couple of rush, pressures. Bain, I mean those count, but you got to get to the quarterback. You got to get to Mendoza, if it is Mendoza or whoever it is. Our defense has to step up. You got to make plays when they're there. 4 missed interceptions yesterday.
That's crazy.
Those are going to come down to basically, winning the game. It's a who wants it more, and I think it's going to come down to the team that makes the mistake first. And so I hope UM could pull it off. If and we'll see what happens. I mean, if my heart says UM.
Yeah, yeah, but the brain says something else.
Yeah.
You know, uh,
Um, Yeah, yeah. The odds are definitely in the favor of Indiana, of course. Obviously, I'm not gonna be going with Indiana. I'm going with Miami on this one, of course. But if I wasn't being biased, I would have to say it's definitely gonna be tough. That defense is gonna have to bring pressures, Bain and Mesidor. They're gonna have to play well on that line, try to get to Mendoza. And this is a Miami versus Miami matchup because Mendoza, he comes from Miami. He played in high school over here, and then he's originally from here. And it's gonna be a home field advantage for Miami. They're playing in the Hard Rock Stadium. That plays a huge factor, I feel like, as well. The crowd is a huge part of football games all the time, creating a lot of noise. And I mean, if Miami can work offensively, if Carson Beck is on on his A game, Malachi Tony, if he makes the plays that he was making, that he's been making, which I know he'll put through, I feel like they can get it done for sure. But Indiana is not a team to count out. They have a great all-around team. They have Mendoza, the Heisman winner, so it's definitely not going to be an easy win to pull off. But I think if we played our cards right, we can 100% get it done. Never count out the U.
Yeah, yeah, I agree a lot. I believe there's a couple things that needs to go right. Well, I mean, a lot of things needs to go right. Hopefully everything. But there's one thing I do want to highlight is gonna be the offensive line for the Miami Hurricanes. The Miami Hurricanes offensive line, I seen it time and time again. They gave Beck a whole bunch of time, especially on the last drive. He was he was so wide open to run into that touchdown. Nobody was around him. And if you look at the replays, the offensive line and pancake a couple people. So in clutch times they came through, right? They did allow 4 sacks, but it happens, right? But the offensive line needs to hold strong. But I believe that we need to capitalize on the would-be turnovers, right? Because we had about 4 picks that we could have had with Ole Miss, and some of them were just just there. They're there for the taking. And I guess just being in the playoffs, being in the atmosphere, the pressure's getting to you. But that all those jitters goes away. Cause now when you're in the championship, you got Cristobal. He's gonna address that. You already know that that's the first thing he's gonna do. You saw when he Beck ran in for the touchdown and everybody was celebrating this and that, and then they went to go hug Cristobal, and Cristobal was like, "Yo, get away from me!" Like, "Yo, no, we gotta win this game." Yo, he's serious. And I
Yeah,
didn't
Cristobal's
know,
a real
yeah,
deal.
and I didn't know he played with the U. He won a championship with the U, so his heart is all there. So he's definitely gonna address that, and I think we're gonna create turnovers, and I think that is gonna be the key to go ahead and beating Indiana. Turnovers and strong offensive line.
I agree. I agree.
Perfect. So the championship is in Hard Rock, and we all love the Hard Rock. I've been there a couple of times. But that's just part of the Miami culture that we have, right? We have a lot of good stuff here in Miami. Not only our sports, right? But now everybody's get to experience some of the things that nobody else can experience that Miami has and only Miami has, right? And one of my favorite things about Miami that they have is like a melting pot of food. You can get any type of food of any origin, anywhere, any place. Because if you think of something off the wall, like a Turkey A country, they have a food truck around the corner. I promise you, you'll find it. We have a selection of food everywhere. And I was gonna ask you guys, like, what is definitely a hotspot for areas that you would want to go to eat? Like, what is something a great place to go, or like the beach, Bayside. Like, what's a good place to go to visit if you're gonna visit the Hard Rock for the game?
Well, you know, us first off, we come from backgrounds from a Peruvian background, and I would say that's the number one food in the world.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, not just saying it, it says it wins awards. But we love, yeah, the people that are going to be coming from out of town, and then it's going to be a Super Bowl atmosphere. Meaning, if you go to South Beach, you will be having breakfast next to stars. You will have coffee, um, next to, a famous person. So, so during this time, basically anywhere you go is actually going to be great. Food wise, I mean, you have Brickell has great restaurants. Bayside has a great, close to the water. There's things to do, and there's food that I wouldn't, not Michelin restaurants, but it'll do for a night out, an afternoon out, and then of course, the beach, the atmosphere, the nightlife, the clubs, uh, great selection of foods. But I'm more, to be straight up, man, I'm more of a mom and pop's place. You know, I love those holes in the wall. Those are the best foods. Um, I'm all about, Cuban, Chinese, Nicaraguan, fritangas, Peruvian food. Uh, you know, um, I'm just naming a few. I don't mean to leave any other country out, but you have it all here in Miami, um, Venezuelans, just Colombian food, just Puerto Rican food, just going on and on. So
yeah,
you can't go wrong. You can't
yeah,
go wrong. You can't go wrong in the city.
Yeah, yes, I agree. Um, in Miami right now, we're not really used to being in any huge games, football wise, which is obviously sad. But when we do get the chance to experience such a huge game and the atmosphere is just crazy, Miami. definitely brings the culture, turns up, brings the fire. You know, it's the atmosphere is really nice. The beaches are really nice. You know, everything is nice in Miami. I mean, during this time around, of course, it's better. But for food wise, I would definitely um, again, we're Peruvian, so I mean, I'm a little biased in this point, but you guys, if I'm trying to recommend a good dish, I would have to say a nice lomo saltado,
Yeah.
which is
Yes, sir.
amazing.
Yeah.
That is one of the best dishes in the world, I would say. Like that, going that deep, definitely one of the best dishes in the world. We have a lot of restaurants here in Miami that you can visit during well, anytime really you can visit. There's a lot of Peruvian restaurants. Like my dad's saying that there's a lot of different types of varieties if you don't like Peruvian food. But if I had to recommend what I would definitely recommend it, you go to a Peruvian place, try a lomo saltados. It's really good. Um, but yeah, going back to um them playing in Hard Rock Stadium. Like I said, we're not used to big games being in football, Miami teams. So that when we do get the chance, we're gonna definitely support, show that we bring it, and it's Hard Rock's gonna be very loud come that championship game. So, yep.
Yeah, yeah. And then we also have the Hard Rock is gonna host a couple of games in the World Cup, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
huge too.
Yeah.
Um, I hope whoever goes, well, this is Miami, but for the average Joe, this is the times where your savings uh, come into play.
Yeah.
Tickets are expensive for the game for World Cup games, and so this is definitely if you waited your whole life for this, and this is it, you know, I'll go for it. Go for it. If it was the Dolphins in the Super Bowl, I would do everything in my power to go.
Yeah, yeah, for real. I would definitely
Miami is
throw the wallet.
Miami's overall very, very expensive. So if you don't have the money saved up, take out a loan for sure, because it is definitely
It
Yeah.
worth
would.
it. Take
Yeah,
out a loan is
once in a
definitely worth
lifetime.
it.
Once in a lifetime. Now we
Yes,
have
once in a
been
lifetime experience.
now we have been blessed a little bit, right, with the Heat, man. So I don't want to say we haven't been
That is
championship
true.
blessed. So
That
the
is true.
Heat,
That
the
is true.
Heat, the Heat
I
has come through for us. We got three of them: Dwayne Wade, LeBron two times. So we
But
definitely
football wise,
football. Yeah,
Well,
we.
well,
It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
well,
it's been a minute.
almost every team actually in Miami has a professional team has won a championship. The Marlins, the Panthers, the Heat. Messi just won one with Inter Miami.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, the Hurricanes. Actually, I know my son is young. That's why he says we're not used to this. But we had glory
Hey,
days.
football wise.
Yeah.
Football, glory days. We've
Football.
had championships. We got robbed once against Ohio State. We should have been, but before that, we won a championship. Couple of them. So Jimmy Johnson, Larry Coker. And so on.
I I
But
I do.
yeah, yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if every single bar is gonna start a cover charge just to go ahead and watch the game. That's how packed everybody,
Oh
and that's
yeah,
how
for sure.
everybody's gonna go out
yeah.
and watch this game. So that's gonna be fun. I definitely don't miss the traffic, right? Because I live in Fort Myers now. But back if if I was a little bit younger, like Aiden's age, I would definitely try to take advantage and see the city for what it is, right? For what it could be. So
That traffic
as
is gonna I live 5 minutes from the stadium. It
back
is that
roads,
traffic is going to yeah, the back you
back
gotta take the
roads,
back
back
roads,
roads.
but it's definitely worth it
Yeah, and it's
you
back
know,
roads that even
Miami.
Google don't know. So you just
Yeah.
gotta know.
Use the Google Maps.
Now what's now speaking of Miami and the Miami life, I do know one person who adopted the Miami life 100%, and that was the ex head coach for the Miami Dolphins. I know you guys seen him when he first showed up with the buttoned up, this and that, looking like a Best Buy employee. And now, next thing you know, he got the shades, he got the chain, he got the hair. He looked like a kingpin out here, man. And Miami's gonna get to you. And speaking of the coach, How do you guys feel about the vacant position now?
It was time.
Yeah,
It was time for a change. You know, we gave it a shot and it didn't work. And if you're not producing in any type of job, usually you guys part ways. It's time to move on. For McDaniels, I liked him as a person. He's a player coach. I wish him success in the near future.
me too.
But it was definitely time. It was definitely time for us to move on and vacate that position for
John
hopefully,
Harbaugh.
Harbaugh.
Yeah, yeah, right.
And,
That's the lottery right there.
yeah, and I think it's all coming together because Ross and McDaniel's. It was said about a week ago that he was going to be the coach for the Dolphins next season, and something happened that Ross changed his mind. So you know,
That is
to be
interesting.
continued.
Yep, that is
Yeah,
interesting.
I'm sure he's gonna find a job soon as offensive coordinator, probably. But as for being a head coach, I don't think that I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna put the blame. Like I've always said, I like Mike McDaniels. He made some, you know, he's taken us to the playoffs. But I mean, as a head coach, I don't think he was fit for that position. I think he's a great offensive coordinator. And like I said, I'm sure a team is gonna pick him up to be an offensive coordinator. But I've always said it. It's kind of hard to coach a team when the quarterback is not performing well. Like Tua, obviously. I mean, I'm just gonna say his name, Tua. He wasn't really performing, and he was, just in his head. He wasn't competing. He was all those picks he was throwing. It's kind of hard to coach that, It's kind of hard to play around that, and it that brings like a domino effect when the quarterback is not competing and making very bad decisions. It creates a domino effect, and I'm not gonna put the full blame on Mike McDaniel, but obviously they let him go, and I mean I hope well for him, and nothing but love for Mike McDaniel. But we'll see what Miami's gonna do next for sure for that position.
I like how I asked a couple of people about the whole Mike McDaniel this and that, and everybody says the same thing. Oh, I like the guy. I like. No, you didn't. No, no, you didn't. Stop lying. No, you didn't. You like what he did like that 1 year, right? We put 70 on Denver, right? We that's the one we like. But mismanagement, right? Constantly using timeouts when you couldn't get the huddle right. Not having the respect of the players. Clearly there wasn't no leadership. Like I promise you, there was no leadership. If you have Tua, right, the egg-headed Tua, talking about, oh, we got the players that don't show up or show up late to the meetings and there's no repercussions. Like, yo, keep that to yourself, right? Yeah, I get it. They need accountability, but you pull them to the side. Don't spill out the beans, right? And he got so comfortable to say that it's because of the lack of leadership from Daniels, right? It all comes back to Daniels. So I'm glad we're out of him, right? Wish him the best. Um, I'm neutral. Don't like you. Don't hate you. Thanks for showing us that Tua is a bum, cause the guy is a bum, a freaking tuna fish out there with the helmet.
Yeah,
But yeah, he's
making a lot of money.
making a lot. He's the biggest robber in the world, dude. He stole all of our money. And then we ask him, oh, how you like a fresh new start? Oh, that'd be dope. Bro, be
Yeah.
quiet, man. You got paid. Like, why couldn't we medically retire this dude, right? He had three concussions back to back to back, and I respect him, right? I did respect him for going out there and trying to play, but this guy was diving head first too. So there was another one, right? So
Do you think those concussions is what ultimately led like to his downfall?
yeah, 100%.
Well, it didn't help.
I had to
Yeah.
be. He put up
I
like
see
a
your
high school.
passion,
Yep.
for this, but I stopped. It's in the past. Starting fresh, we got rid of our GM, we got rid of our coach. See what happens with the future. They're definitely making some change. So, you know, um, I maybe it's because the older I'm getting, the wiser, or maybe this, but I stopped, getting frustrated, especially after it's over. It's moving on. If they kept him and say that he would be the starting quarterback of the Dolphins next year, then I would be all worked up about it. But just me. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done being frustrated. It's been a couple years that you know uh, go, just go.
I don't know, man. I kind of like the team. I kind of like the team a lot, even with the new logos. I love them. I love them a lot. So now
Just a little bit.
speaking of the new personnel, we got the John Eric Sullivan as the new GM for the Miami Dolphins. Now Sullivan comes from Green Bay. He worked his way up, right, since 2003, and he became the VP of Player Personnel in 2022. So now we got him on board on the ship. Do you think this is a good thing, bad thing? Don't know yet.
Don't know yet, but it can be worse than Greer. you know, um, so just gotta wait and see. We always get excited about new hires, just like in any other. If it was another team, you get a new quarterback, you're excited. You think you're gonna win the Super Bowl next year. You get a new GM, you think you're gonna have the best draft in the league. You think things are gonna change, and then until, but I really don't know the guy.
Yeah.
But they had to move on from Gear, so that's a good thing, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I don't really know the guy that much either, but I mean, doing my research on him, he's had a lot of experience being the vice president for personnel, um the personnel there for a very long time. He has like over 20 years of experience with the Packers. Um Obviously Greer, good thing he's gone. Fire that guy. Uh but hopefully John Eric Sullivan, he'll bring just make some great moves for this team and change the team around. So
Now, do you think? Oh, obviously he's gonna have a say in finding the next head coach. But do you guys? I want to ask you. I want to ask you guys: is there somebody that you want as a head coach at the moment? Can you think of somebody that you guys want as a head
I mean,
coach?
I mean Harbaugh.
Harbaugh, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harbaugh, yeah, I mean Harbaugh or Cristobal.
Oh, Cristobal. Yeah.
Cristobal,
I don't think he's gonna.
not Kevin Stefanski,
I don't think he's gonna pull. What's the guy's name? Lane Kiffin, and just leave in the middle of the freaking season. Freaking idiot.
which is
But
insane, by the way.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, yeah. I mean, I want John Harbaugh, right? But at the same time, do I really want to? Because I was thinking about it for a little bit, right? Because the Baltimore Ravens have a lot of pieces in place, right? And it didn't work with John Harbaugh, and why is that, right? The defense is terrible, right? There's a terrible defense. Why not get rid of the defensive coordinator, right? No, they got rid of Harbaugh. So seeing that is alarming for me. Everybody wants him just because of the name of Baltimore, what they done. He has one Super Bowl, right? One Super Bowl. That's great, right? More than us, 100%. But I mean, 19 years in an organization, I would hope you have a little bit more, right? So I'm not a fan of Harbaugh. Not interested at all. I want somebody who understands the development and the new generation of football players and the new generation of the games. Because now we have quarterbacks that is a standard that they need to run. If you have a quarterback that can't run, then he can't be a quarterback in the NFL, which is crazy. It's like having a center that needs to have threes. You need to have a center that shoot threes. If not, you're gonna fall behind. So I need somebody who's a little bit more acclimated to today's game and maybe has a little bit of success with offense, right? So I don't know who that is at the top of my head, but I don't want Harbaugh.
Um, you know, uh, I'm from the old school. Um, I don't think you need to have legs. Um, you know, there is going to be times like you know, for instance, a back. He's not known as a runner, but he'll get a first down here and there. But a perfect example is, Aaron Rodgers, 42 years old, does not run. He won't even do a push tush, uh, but he's a winner.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
So there are exceptions. There are exceptions of these quarterbacks that don't run, and I think it's just you know you got to be smart with plays, and hopefully we get somebody and don't turn the ball over. That's it.
I think somebody like Rodgers would fit perfectly with Harbaugh because they've been in the league for years already. But you got Lamar, right? Lamar is the real deal, and you're not able to go ahead and capitalize on that as a head coach in what 4 seasons, right? And again, the reports say that there was a disconnect of him in the locker room and him and Lamar, and I think it's just because of the age gap, right? Harbaugh's old school. He wants to keep it old school. Lamar, not old school. He wants to keep it new. Remember, he can run if he needs to. And that's what made Lamar Lamar. Action Jackson. He was able to go ahead and spin off moves, this and that. And I just feel like Harbaugh wasn't able to fully capitalize on his development and potential. Which again, if
Well,
Miami
that
gonna have another quarterback, we need that. We need a guy who's gonna embrace the young quarterback out of college.
you know, I think it's your opinion, but I think you're being too hard on Harbaugh because you could say the same thing about Sean McDermott, with the Buffalo. Hasn't won anything. What does that make him?
A loser.
Um,
A great point.
but he's a good coach.
If
He's a great coach.
if he
Josh, you quarterbacks, you guys, I think a lot of people say, oh, this quarterback comes in and he's great, and of course, yeah, you have to have talent, you have to have, athleticism, you have to have that it. However, it's all about the system, and the system is brought in by the coaching. You know, Brady needed Belichick. Belichick needed Brady. That was a perfect system, So it has to do with the coach, and Brady was not known as a runner, you know. So, but just my take.
yeah.
Yeah, John Harbaugh is definitely. I don't feel like he's a bad coach. I feel like the disconnect between him and Lamar was definitely that was a huge effect on the team. I mean, he's led them to the playoffs. Obviously, they haven't won anything big, but that doesn't really show his whole like that shouldn't determine like how good of a coach you are because then like my dad made a good point about Sean McDermott and the Bills. Their team is great. They have Josh Allen. And his I feel like his coaching, we can all agree Sean McDermott is a good coach. Um, and I think they let him go ultimately because of that disconnect with Lamar Jackson. It was either Lamar Jackson or John Harbaugh, you know. So I think they rather put their money on their franchise quarterback Lamar Jackson, and I think he would definitely be a great fit for Miami. I mean, he's a great coach. Like, then again, he's led the Ravens to the playoffs, and obviously he's mismanaged a lot this season, but definitely with Derrick Henry, a lot of mismanagement, not running the ball, so, controversial miscues, but definitely I feel like he's a great coach, and I feel like he could be a great fit for Miami, and I do hope he comes to Miami and see what he can do for us. Hopefully, do what Mike McDaniels wasn't doing anymore for us. So
All right. Well,
that's you know,
let me ask you this about McDermott, right? If the Bills would have not made the playoffs, you think he'll still have a job?
if the Bills didn't make the
Like I said,
playoffs,
it's one of those. Again, guys know how I feel about the what
Yeah,
ifs.
yeah, 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 yeah. But you're talking
You
about
know,
McDermott being a great coach. Yeah, you're a great coach
if
choice. So but what have you done lately? Like Mike Tomlin. What have you done lately? Is he a great coach for losing in the playoffs every single year? I don't know. What's the point of going to the playoffs? So
never had a losing season.
Yeah, I know, but you never had a you had well, you had your championships, right? You had them with Big Ben, right? So definitely has a lot more weight than Harbaugh for sure, right? But then that's why he's the longest tenured coach, and Harbaugh was second. There's a big gap between first and second, and even Tomlin was talking about being on the hot seat. So it's not what you done before, is what you done for me lately. That's just the way it
Oh
is.
yeah, any sport, any sport.
Any sport. So
Yeah, I agree.
yep,
Um, can I add one more thing?
yeah, yeah.
You were talking about Sean
Go for it.
McDermott. If he, you said if he didn't make the playoffs, would he be a coach still for the team? Well, I mean, they made it to playoffs multiple times. I mean, look who he's gone against in the playoffs. I mean, nobody those years, Mahomes. Nobody's beating the Chiefs. Those. I mean, then again, I mean, I feel like Sean McDermott is a good coach. That's what it leads me to say that uh, John Harbaugh. You know, I mean, I just hope he comes to Miami. Honestly, so that's my opinion. And yeah,
Now we do have positive things, cause I don't want to uh just be hard on Hardball, cause again, I'm just a suspicious player. Why not fire the defensive coordinator, right? As more than that. But if he does come to Miami and we're able to go ahead and bring him on board, because I mean, word on the grapevine is that they talked to Harbaugh. Ross talked to Harbaugh, and he was interested in Miami, and that's why we let McDaniels go. Like we went from like PJ said, one week we like, oh, he's our coach, and next week something happened, and now he's not the coach anymore. So that's the word that they talked to Harbaugh. He's gonna come to Miami, and that's why they did what they did. And if he does, I know for a fact that he's gonna bring something that McDaniels didn't have, and that's leadership and respect. And nobody gonna show up late to no freaking practice, and nobody gonna be on the podium speaking out of their cheeks. So definitely,
Yeah,
if he does come, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love every Dolphin that we have, and if he becomes our coach, I'm gonna love him too.
and on a side note, guys, have I given you another? Yeah, I gave you another pick. I hope you guys tailed. The reason I bring it is because the over has hit in Indiana. It looks like Indiana will win. I did tell you guys to go with Indiana and Miami. I hope you guys tailed. But I just wanted to make that on a side note because I take pride in my picks. You know,
Oh yeah, speaking about
so
picks, what do you got for us with the what's tomorrow? Oh, the playoffs. You have anything for tomorrow for the playoffs?
yeah,
Wait,
give me the teams and then I'll tell you what we got.
yeah, so we got the
Go down the
Panthers.
list.
We got the Panthers versus the what was the team? The Panthers versus the Rams,
The Rams.
and then Green Bay against the Bears.
Okay. Um, I think we talked about this yesterday, where the Rams are gonna
Yeah, yeah,
smoke.
yeah. But we're talking about parlays. I want, me. I gotta hit the 12 leg parlays, 14 leg
yeah.
parlays.
If we're putting our money on something, what is the right pick that's gonna make us money?
Yeah,
To
And
yeah.
the
make you
viewers,
money.
of course. And the viewers, of course.
I'll tell you one thing, man. Uh, I'm not a big fan of parlays. I'm really not. I like straight up bets, but I did convert the parlay with Miami and winning, and Indiana winning. You know, and the overs. Those are the type of parlays I do. A lot of people like players parlays, where actually Aiden is really good with that, with the player parlays. I'll give you the pick where you can combine it. Where uh, if you take Chicago and the Rams tomorrow, it's actually at plus one, as plus 110. And this is on the I'm not going to name the website. But
But on
make some
most
money.
sports books, it should be that line. It should be the same line plus 110
So
if you put those two.
You
So
said Bears and
so
the
that's a
and the
good parlay
Rams.
to pick. I take the Bears and the Rams, and for tomorrow, I do. I
I
do.
I
Take
I'm
them.
I'm looking at plus 129.
There you
Okay,
go.
so
You see, different sites are different, and I would take that for tomorrow.
Yep, so
The
five
Bears and
dollars.
the Rams.
Yep, $5 will get you $11. So
$5. No
well,
man.
it's just you
I
know,
know. I know.
I
I
hope, all
know.
right, all right, you guys, 500 will get you a grand 1100. Same thing. You know, just add a couple zeros. So
There you go. Right. No, but there you go. So that'd be my pick for tomorrow. You know, so yeah,
what about player parlays?
I think
You
those
don't
are
good,
got
great.
nothing?
good look. Um, and Aiden is very good with parlays. Carolina is a great defense. Um, they're very. I don't know if people would say underrated or they give them the respect they do. You know, but it's hard to. I think Puka's a stud. You know, Puka would get his catches. Since when you play good defenses, usually your running back is gets his touches on run receptions. So I like it there. And then for on the other side, you got Bryce Young who loves his rookie. And but it's tough because the Rams do have a great defense. So, I'll see Aiden's take. He's really good with those. Again, I'm not a big fan of parlays for players, but I like Puka and I like Kyron
Well,
receptions.
I'm a fan of parlay, so I'm telling you right now, Puka 2 touchdowns and Rico Dotto 1 touchdowns.
Oh,
Calling it right now. And that's only two, because I
that's
could
right
keep
off the
going.
jump. That is.
I could keep going. You know, I just go next, passing, next, receiving. I go.
All right. Well, if I had to go with one specific player prop to take, which I'm gonna be putting my money on as well. Devontae Adams is coming back. I would put him for a touchdown for sure. They use him in red zone a lot. He's a red zone threat. You can't really guard that fade route and that slant that he runs, and it's really hard to stop him in the red zone. He has a tremendous amount of touchdowns. He's having a great season with the Rams, and Matthew Stafford has been putting uh the ball on the money. So I would definitely go with a Devontae Adams touchdown for that game. He's coming back from a hamstring injury, and he should be fresh out there. And definitely we'll go with Devontae Adams touchdown for sure.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford 2 touchdowns.
Matthew Stafford plus two
Oh
plus
yeah, there you go.
touchdowns.
There you go. I knew you had something in you, man. So that means he's gonna get three
I do. I
touchdowns.
just
So you telling me
I
he's
do,
gonna
man.
throw
I just stay
three?
away. Yeah, no. Again, I stay away from parlays. Now, again, it's just again, I'm gonna put the Chicago Bears and the Rams, and you know, that's
Okay,
my parlay.
that's your barley.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, good, good. I mean, we got a little parlays. If you guys tell, I'll definitely tell my brothers 100%. If he says what he says, just go ahead and do it. You know, just do it. He's at a high hit rate right now and something incredible. So just follow him. Don't follow me because I'm adding another one. Like I'm gonna add I'm gonna add Kyrie and Rico on the over.
That's hilarious. You said two plus touchdowns for Puka
Yeah,
and one
yeah,
for
yeah,
Rika.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
hey, it could happen. That's a possibility for sure. We're talking about one of the best receivers in the league. So
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
could
I
happen.
got Devontae Adams over 4.5. So, there you go, there you go. So we're gonna go ahead and start closing it out. Now, I do want to go ahead and leave and ask you guys a question. Maybe you guys can think about it a little bit, but let me know what comes to mind. So, talking about the last play of the UM game, talking about the last kick from last session, right? Those moments, like when everything comes down to the last play, does that moment erases all of the effort, the mistakes, and greatness that got you there?
I kind of wanted to to answer this question first because I feel like I like this question a lot, you know. So definitely let me add my input on it. I feel like the last play definitely doesn't erase what came before, you know, but it does like frame how we kind of remember it, you know. And I'll give you an example. For example, the Seahawks and the Patriots in the Super Bowl in 2015. You know, that last drive with Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch, they were coming down the field. They came down. Yeah, first play, I think it was like 30 yards. Marshawn Lynch, it was like a reception for him. Uh, Also, that miraculous catch that people aren't really talking about anymore because of the fact that people are mostly,
Yeah,
you know, remembering the fact that they threw a pick on the goal line instead of running the ball with
yeah,
Marshawn
because
Lynch.
he caught on the
So
floor, right?
yep, he caught that on the floor, and it was like a crazy miraculous catch.
That's
And all
crazy.
of that is definitely that's you know you can't forget that because it was insane and it was a crazy drive. But we definitely it definitely affects how we remember it because of the fact that that they chose to pass the ball instead of running the ball on the goal line, and that's what we remember. You know, so it takes away from that. So I think that was a great question, David, and that was my input on it.
You know, nobody remembers second place. So yeah, you could have 4 or 5 touchdowns in a game, 500 yards, and comes down to the last play, and you throw an interception to lose the game. You know, um, it nullifies everything you did in the game. You got great highlights, but if when you ask a player, which do you prefer, the highlight or the win?
Everything's gonna go for the
The
win.
stats or the wins? They all prefer the win. So yeah, that is a great question. I think it nullifies the greatness that you played in the game. You don't want an asterisk next to it. Or a but. Oh man, he had the best game of his life, but
Yeah,
he
But
lost.
yes, he lost. Yeah,
yeah,
Definitely, definitely takes away. If UM loses yesterday, and I know we keep bringing back UM, it's because of the topic is we're from Miami. We're gonna keep talking about it. So,
for sure.
and Carson Beck doesn't run it, throws an interception, we lose the game. Today we would have been like, this is the worst $4 million we spent on in NIL money.
yeah,
You know, and
True.
Georgia fans would have been like, I told you guys so. I told you so.
Notre
So
no Notre
definitely.
Dame would have been like, we definitely should have been in the playoffs instead of you guys, you know. So
So yeah, yeah. The last play does make a difference, and it can make you or break you. You can go from a hero to a zero real quick.
yeah, yeah. And it's one of the. I mean, I think that's why we all love sports, because just like as you played great all game, and that one last play erases everything. You could have been playing terrible all game, and then you do the last play and you make it, and guess what? You were the greatest. And
yeah,
and
it's true.
and I
It's
think
true.
that's one of the that's why we like sports. That's why that's the person where I love sports is because you could be on top of the world, and if you don't finish it, it doesn't matter, right?
Right.
You could be at the bottom, and if you're able to like finish it, not how you start, but how you finish, and it doesn't matter because you ended up winning. So I think it's a great way of looking at it, as in don't give up, right? Don't give up to the last play because you never know. The last play could be your whole career. You just don't know.
Super
Yep,
true.
I agree.
Well,
But
that's what we got all for today. So I appreciate everybody that's coming out to see us. Thank you for supporting us, for subscribing. We do have Twitch, so we always do this live. So go ahead and visit our Twitch. I'm gonna have the link at the bottom. So go
We're
ahead
live
and
right now, actually.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Everything is live. We do
Yeah.
everything live, and then we just go ahead and post it on the tube. So again, thank you guys for showing out. The comments, we all read them. It means a lot. It means a lot to me, and it's beautiful that I'm able to do this with my brother and my nephew. Is Thank you guys, and I hope to keep doing this and carry you guys with us with the journey. So thank you again.
please follow us not only on here on other platforms. Um, you know, David, if you want to share our names and other platforms, is that possible? I don't know if you can do it on here.
Yeah, I'm gonna post the link. Don't worry.
Okay. But guys, follow us, subscribe. Thanks for the love.
Yeah, thanks for the love for sure. We're very grateful. And again, we do this for fun, try to put out some great entertainment. And very grateful that I'm doing this with my dad and my uncle. And if you enjoy our content, definitely, follow us, subscribe on YouTube. And I wanted to add one more thing. Uh, in the comments, David asked that great question about does the last play about the last play. Definitely leave your comment in the comment section.
Oh
What are
yeah.
your thoughts, and if
Yeah.
you guys have like a specific moment you guys want to share, definitely leave that in the comment section. So, yeah, basically it right there.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
got it, guys.
All these questions we're gonna do like a little question at the end of it. These questions are for you guys, for you guys as well. Like we do it because we're here. So let me just go ahead and repeat that one more time. When everything comes down to the last play, does that moment erase all of the effort, the mistakes, and greatness that got you there? Food for thought. Thank you guys, and we see you on the next episode, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. Good night, guys.
See ya. Good night.